Yesterday, you saw that A.J. Brown was out for Monday night's matchup. You went to the waiver wire. You saw Darnell Mooney. You picked him up. Now you're wondering what to do from here. Your lineup sucks and you're wanting to put him in, but you don't know what's going to happen. You may have to anyways, but you need to know more about this guy. So I'm going to help you right now because we're going to talk about whether or not you need Darnell Mooney for fantasy football, how to strategize, and everything else by looking at the advanced metrics on Darnell Mooney. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're doing these deep dives every day. Whenever something like this happens, an injury, a guy climbing the waiver wire, a guy climbing the depth chart, a guy that's starting to become a hot name, deep dive. And it could be the same player done multiple times because the information changes rapidly throughout the year. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. We're using these videos to help you win your league, set your waiver wire, and set your lineup. So click that button because we're talking about A.J. Brown being out of Monday's matchup here. And that's a big deal for some fantasy gamers because they were blindsided by this. They were not prepared. And all of a sudden, the waiver wire ran, and they're looking at Darnell Mooney, who ran on 95% of snaps, but just caught one ball last week. So they're wondering, hey, does he suck? Is he worth my time? Ray McCloud over here, he is racking up targets. But we're looking at this offense here, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McCloud, and we're saying, hey, how can he get enough volume to be productive? But he is running on a lot of the routes. He is running in a lot of the snaps, so there is a lot of opportunity here. He's actually getting more opportunity per snaps and routes than Ray McCloud, and you look at it this way, he was in 100% of the routes ran, but what I like is that 13.3 average depth of target. He was getting targets downfield, so he's a splash play. He's an up and down option in this offense because Drake London's going to get targets, Kyle Pitts is going to get targets, Ray McCloud's going to get targets underneath, but he's going to be getting the deep ball. He's going to be on the field, on the outside, running routes, getting those targets that are deep. He's going to get a couple of those a game. If he brings in one of those, he could be productive for you. But do you need that right now? We'll talk about that some more, but this is going to be an interesting matchup because Saquon Barkley should get fed in this game. A.J. Brown is out. That's going to impact things drastically. Atlanta's tough against the pass, so that could lock up Devonta Smith, make things harder. They may go other routes with that offense, but that could allow Atlanta to control the pace a little bit. And Vegas is saying, hey, we're kind of concerned with A.J. Brown because they dropped the over-under 2 points since A.J. Brown was deemed out yesterday. 45.5 over-under. It's not a low-scoring game. It's more to moderate, but it's something to notice that Vegas is saying, hey, this might be a lower point total happening in this game. And then also the Eagles give up fantasy points to wide receivers. Last 3 weeks of last season, they averaged 39.7 PPR fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Look over here to the chart, and wide receivers were lighting them up every single week. Then go to week 1, Jaden Reed lit them up. This is a trend, and this is consistent. Christian Watson got 10 fantasy points. Romeo Doubs got 9. So there is an opportunity in this matchup for these wide receivers to hit. Christian Watson, deep threat. Darnell Mooney, deep threat in this offense. Something to look at. And Mooney will be in on 100% of the snaps like he was last week. More than likely, at least like 80 to 90. Maybe even 100. But we got Philly. We're ranked low. But it's Monday. It's Monday. You're not doing start-sit decisions with these guys anymore because they already play. So if you got them, you're playing them, or you're looking at them on your roster now that you picked them up, say, hey, what's the long-term thing that could happen with Darnell Mooney? And he's going to be running deep routes. He's on an offense that could be spreading the ball more over time. And he could have some up-and-down fantasy production. He did have fantasy production with Justin Fields with Chicago. A lot of people down on that offense a few years ago. Now he's with a better quarterback, unless Kirk Cousins is dust right now. What we saw in week 1 was not looking great, but maybe things kick into gear against the Eagles. But you don't need this. You don't need to start them because you already rostered and started your wide receivers. You're just looking at him as a stash. You're just wondering what I'm going to say. But you need him because A.J. Brown got hurt. You're banking on him. You don't like the wide receivers on your bench. You saw him, you picked it up, and now it's a YOLO play. You may want to look at him for DFS as a what the heck start. Whatever you're doing, this is a what the heck situation. But again, you got to make that gamble, and you're always going to have to make a gamble here and there in fantasy football, and that's what Darnell Mooney is right now. He's a gamble, but he has some upside, and there is some leniency with the matchup that could allow him to hit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.